We'll start episode 96 off with the nice big drink.
I just cracked a new bottle right now. That's Evan Williams single barrel. Vintage.
Oh, the big V.
Yes. The guy at the liquor store, he's like, "You looking for something new?" I was just like, "Why, yes, sir. Yes, I am." And he let me look around a couple minutes, and then he recommended this bottle. And I go, "You know what? You did not lead me astray on the last bottle. I'm going to rock with this one." And so got a nice color to it.
You mess with Evan Williams normally?
Nah. Never fucked with it before.
Yeah. I
drank
it in college.
With you.
It was a pregame drink.
Put in oak back in 2012. 8-year age. All right.
Did you say I was 8 years old?
Yeah. It's not bad. It's
I can tell by your tone. Your tone said it all.
It's not my favorite by any means. Like, I've had lesser bottles that I cost-wise that I think maybe I got it married a little bit. I don't know.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I might dip and dodge them next time. Sorry, player.
Me and Justin were going hard on the whiskey last night.
Were you?
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I probably had like 4 or 5 glasses.
Well, I mean, if they're good pours, that's going heavy.
Yeah, we finished off the Basil Hayden's that he had, and then we just went into the Peach Crown because that's what he had on deck. And I tell you what, man, it's super
smooth
good.
Drink, man.
Super.
Put it on ice.
Super sweet.
Yeah.
He had cold stones.
Yeah.
No ice cream.
No.
But all right. Go ahead and do the intro. Awkwardly jump. Transition alert! Transition alert!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans.
Oh
my name is CB, and with me is the oldest motherfucker in the room today. We're just gonna call him that because happy birthday to this guy.
Thank you. It was Saturday, but I appreciate you.
Clay Haggard.
Hey,
I'm gonna say your name for you.
Shout out John Rosado, birthday yesterday. Shout out Justin Swenson,
Yeah,
birthday today. Shout out Mark Knapp, birthday today.
That's right. And my dad. Shout out to my dad. Birthday today.
Mr. Watkins.
So.
Nice. Lots of birthdays.
Yeah. Got to see Clay this weekend, which was cool.
Got to see me eat a large nacho.
Yes, dude.
Almost the whole thing.
Y'all don't know joy until you see a man that hasn't had fucking Shakespeare nacho in a long time.
I went from talking to just everybody be quiet. I need 10 minutes to myself. It was a delicious nacho, dude. It was fire. It was the only cheat I had all weekend.
That's what's up.
No sugar, no carbs, just those chips, bro. That was it.
So did you have a good birthday?
Yeah, man, it was good. It was, super chill. I wasn't looking for anything past that, so I would say it was a success, man. I got to go golf. I golfed 18 at a course called Stoughton Bray. It's part of the Gull Lake Views, if you're familiar with those. And I went out with Ben Green, a.k.a. Man Meat, a.k.a. Easy Money in Fantasy, a.k.a. 2-time champ of the other league. Guess I'll give him props.
Wait, no, he's not 2-time champ of the other league.
Yeah, he is. He won it 2017, 2018, and then Adam Jackson won it 2019.
Oh, is he really 2-time champ? No wonder I don't like that guy.
I know. If he wasn't a Spartan fan, I'll be honest with you, I would have thrown his ass to the side a long time ago.
We're no longer friends.
I would have been like, bro, you don't bring anything to this friendship. Like,
did he walk over to the other league? Not the other league, the name, but Any Given Sunday league for a while too.
I honestly don't know if he's won that league. I'll probably say yes. Ben's very knowledgeable when it comes to sports. Good thing I beat his ass in golf, though. Still got that on him.
See, it was a good thing we didn't record yesterday. That way you could have the entire fucking pounds fest of beverages last night. So. Yeah.
No, it ended up working out, man, because I kicked it with my parents for like pretty much the whole day. I'll be honest with you. I watched The Shawshank Redemption for the first time. I'd never seen that movie.
Sure do.
I'm a big movie buff, so of course both my parents were like, "You've never seen that movie?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, I was 4 years old. You are my parents." You should
It
know
was
better.
your fault.
But
You should have shown it.
Hey, I'll give them props though, because as big of a movie buff as I am, I should be watching classics like that. So,
Yeah,
I've recently watched the first two Batmans, the Tim Burton Batmans. I'd never seen
Oh.
those either.
Really?
So yeah,
I guess I think that's
I'm
crazy,
30
but
years
I mean,
old now. I gotta kick it
yeah.
old school with everything. If it's
Right.
got CGI, it's too new for me, dude. I'm not about that life anymore.
Right?
I'm
You're
playing
like,
chess.
I need analog.
The rest of these kids are playing checkers.
You're like, I need to go back to VHSs.
Oh, what's a VHS, bro? I'm not even there yet. I still got to go to the town theater to
there
see
you go.
movie.
Pay your 25 cents.
Side note, I'm ready for them to open back up.
AMC's supposed to.
Yeah, they were supposed to in July, but hopefully sooner than later. Tenet is scheduled for the first week of September. As long as theaters open before then, I'll be straight.
It was not really. I didn't really watch too many of those fights Saturday night. I started watching when I hit you up with like, yo.
Transition into sports? Is
kinda.
This... Okay.
I was just thinking.
Transition alert. Transition alert.
I guess I was just thinking about Saturday night and how we were that I watched that fight and I was just like the final two, but no, I was just like those dudes were slow as fuck, but those punches, ow, that didn't look pleasurable by any means. But no, I wasn't really trying to go into sports. It just because I don't really have much to say about that UFC shit today, just because I didn't watch enough of it. But and there were no names that we could talk to that the average listener would know.
The average listener, no, I would
say. Well, no, like did want to record live with you, but I also didn't want to impede on any plans that people may have tried to have for you. So
it worked out.
We are. This could be a very short episode. At no fault of anybody but Mother Nature. Both Clay and myself are dealing with storms getting ready to come right through both of our towns. Where power could be lost.
I'm on a tornado warning.
Tornado water.
So
I just got a crazy.
If my shit just cuts out, guys, I may be Wizard of Ozing it. I may just be chilling.
There you go.
Yellow Brick Road style, drinking my whiskey.
I ran through the house, found portable powers, made sure those were charged.
There you go.
Made sure everybody had their shit on the charger. I got my personal phone on the charger now. Charging up to make sure that I'm good to go. So, gotta file that little claim. Hey, we're out without power, and then I watch that for updates. It's like they send you text messages and shit, but no, me, I'm fucking crazy, and I'm like, refresh. Why aren't they working on it yet? Refresh. So, I guess let's get into some sports though. I mean, just because of the fact that today was, I think, a pretty impactful day of what we're gonna see for college sports this year. Dan Patrick, I heard reported that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten are looking to cancel the seasons come tomorrow.
Yeah, nothing's official yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the word that's going to happen. And I know you and I have talked about it in the past before, but it's really, really tough to justify why student athletes should be playing sports when they're not having classes on campus.
Yeah.
As sad and upsetting and disappointing and depressing it is, I can't sit here and ask, why are you doing it? Like, why is that a decision you're thinking about? Like, I get it. And I know a lot of college coaches are coming out and saying that they want to play. A lot of players are coming out and saying they want to play. I mean, shit, fucking dumbass President Trump came out and that's probably the smartest thing he says since he's been in office is fucking let him play college football.
And that was still a bad choice. You know what I mean? I personally think. I mean, like, even when, like, this was probably the most presidential thing he's ever done, and he still fucked that up.
I said Trump, and CB said, nope, he's wrong. I disagree. No, I don't care what it is. Disagree.
I have stood strong on the fact that I don't foresee a season. I never foresaw a season. Yeah. I just thought that COVID was going to take over our sports again. And it's not the fact that I just wanted to go against Donald Trump. It was just the fact that it was Like, wow, he still fucked it up. He can't even just say, you know what, this is not safe for these kids to go out there. And I understand, like, the argument. Like, Trevor Lawrence headed up the whole conversation from the players, about, hey, basically trying to unionize the players, college players, to say, hey, we want to play. But I believe it was Sparrow that said they have no leg to stand on anyways,
Right.
If they tried, I mean, and I was kind of asking, I felt like sometimes when I ask Chris questions, I always feel like I might be grilling him, and I'm not. I'm just like, you're the only person in this group that has played beyond, and I want to know what your real thought is on this. I mean, like, would you really want to play knowing that there's a danger you could get sick? Because, I mean, here's the thing. For college to work out, they can't see parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, through the whole season. You can't see anybody through the whole season for it to work out. And I get that they want the players want to play. They worked hard. Trevor Lawrence is looking at like, well, fuck, where's that put me in my draft stock? Because I probably could have been drafted pretty high last year if I would have came out. You know what I mean? Like, right. And he doesn't want to go back to college another year. So he wants to play because he wants his decision to go back to school.
Yeah,
to make sense.
And it's funny because I was gonna bring that up as just like a question, a topic to talk about, because Trevor Lawrence came out and had a big thing that he said. I think I put it in the group. I'm gonna rattle it off for everybody. Or Sparrow did. I'm sorry. So Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of the Clemson Tigers, if y'all don't know that, but basically came out and said people are just as much, if not more, or excuse me, I'm gonna restart this. Trevor Lawrence, and I quote, people are at just as much, if not more risk if we don't play. Players will all be sent home to their own communities where social distancing is highly unlikely, and medical care and expenses will be placed on the families if they were to contract COVID-19. Not to mention the players coming from situations that are not good for them, their future, and having to go back to that. Football is a safe haven for so many people. We are more likely to get the virus in everyday life than playing football. End quote. So, I mean, kind of like, I was just going to start you off, like, kind of how you feel about that, as far as let's just keep it simple. Let's keep it to the idea of students going home. They're more likely to contract COVID-19 than they are staying in the football organization and
False.
program. What do you think? And
False.
So go ahead.
I mean, like, if you're on a college campus, and we talked about it, today, kind of in the group, was they're gonna go, and if you have them at school, they're gonna go to parties, they're gonna live life and try to live as normal as they can.
Right.
And so if you're in college, you're already you're just putting yourself at a bigger disadvantage, rather than if you went home. Because if you went home, then you could choose to make it a little bit easier, because you can be like, I'm living in my room, except for when I go work out, and then I'm living in my, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
And your family's also gonna, probably respect that more so than a 19-year-old trying to get some fucking skins. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Agreed.
I when you were talking there, and you were I did come up with one way, like, the whole, like, I asked a question, I just don't get why players have to go home, right? So if the university really cares for these players, and you're like, okay, we're not having fall season, who knows if we have a spring season, but the NCAA is gonna kind of retro, so everybody that get that fifth, sixth year or whatever that they may need to play, so everybody's getting redshirted. But why not just put them up in a dorm on the university's dime? All right, so now they don't have to go home and take a chance of contract. Now you basically create a bubble for those players to keep them healthy and safe. Now you're proving that you actually care for these kids that come to your university to possibly even get injured on a football field for you. That's the way you could take care of them. Guess what? The dorms are empty because most of these colleges are going completely virtual.
Mm-hmm.
That would show me that you care. I just don't. on Trevor Lawrence's aspect of people going home, all that, that's you have a better opportunity to not catch the COVID if you actually can go home and practice it by yourself with your loved ones than you do with people that you don't. I mean, them, but you don't know them. You know what I'm saying? So, what's your thought, man?
I mean, it's situational. Like, I'll be honest, I do see where he's coming from. Because we're assuming that when you go home, the people you're surrounded around or are surrounded by are actually preventing and practicing like safely.
Yeah.
Like, who's to say Trevor Lawrence, for example, goes home and his family thinks COVID's a big hoax and they don't practice? They're the ones that are out at the grocery stores without a mask. So, we can't just assume because they're student athletes that their environments are safe. Right. And I understand where you're coming from too, because I feel like with your mindset, it's kind of like, well, why wouldn't you be preventing this? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, why wouldn't they? Why that's silly. Like, it's a no go, or like it's an obvious thing.
Oh, yeah.
But the funny thing is I'm also guilty myself of not wearing a mask right out the gate. You know what I mean? So like, here we are talking about environments and like just me. Let's say I'm buddy with Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? And then he comes over to kick it because he's back home. It's just me. But he doesn't know that I wasn't being safe right away. You know what I mean? So, I mean, first of all, no matter if you're in a dorm, no matter if you're at home, no matter if you're in a bubble, there is still the potential of getting COVID.
Potential.
So, now it's greater than others in certain situations. But I guess I just understand where he's coming from. Now, at the end of the day, I think him saying people are more likely to get it going home, I think that's a stretch. You know what I mean? Like, we can't prove whether or not playing football or not playing football is going to be safer. But at the end of the day, I'm assuming that his mindset of playing a season is safer because there will be coaches and trainers and a staff that is putting precautionary measures in place. And those like safety parameters are going to help players stay more safe. At home, you don't get that unless you have, like hyper, whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like germaphobe. Yeah, sure. Who's actually like, yo, you're washing your hands, you're sanitizing after every wash, like this. I mean, dude, most people don't live that life, I feel like, even with this pandemic. So I get it. I respect it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I guess I just won't turn a blind eye to where he's coming from. Like, I get it. Like, that's a big roster, man. Like, there's a lot of kids, that are coming from different environments and different households. So who knows, but at the same time, if these kids want to play, like that still can be a detriment to somebody's career. Like, you still have to go home. Even if you go home and you don't have a season, you still have to be safe. Because what if you get it? What if that hurts you in the long run? What if that permanently hurts your immune system somehow? You know what I mean? Or like your respiratory system? Like, who knows, dude? Like, who knows?
Right. Yeah, I mean the flu itself by itself was killing people.
Yeah, man. So
you know what I'm saying?
Still got to be safe.
This is
my other real big question that I wanted to ask too, and like we hear people speaking out, and when I say people, I'm referring to student athletes, college football players. And I noticed that at least a lot of the ones that are being highlighted or that the limelight's on, they're all high-end upperclassmen. And so you already brought up the point that I wanted to question. And Trevor Lawrence is going into his junior year in college, his final year before he ultimately declares for the NFL draft. And that is potentially being taken from him now. So basically, I kind of have a two-parter question. Like, one, does something like this, is this going to like impact any of these high-end players coming into the NFL? And I guess let's just start there. So like, do you think something like this, now you can't say like, oh, it's going to hurt Trevor Lawrence, because if there's no season, I feel like everybody kind of stays in their ranking. But I mean, that's a development year, dude. That's a huge year of development and proving yourself and growth. And to have that stripped away, which granted, I guess before we answer the question, and I'm sorry, I'm going to let you answer, I don't know if there's no season, if that means they have to come back in 2021 to play, to have their 3 years eligibility.
I don't like that. I thought it was just 3 years out of school. Because
Right.
that's what Maurice Clarett did. He just waited 3 years till he was out of high school, and then he went to the pros. Because he spent
Oh,
2 years
is that
out
what
of
it is?
yeah.
It's just you have to be 3 years out of high school. I
Yeah,
always thought
because
you
you're
needed college experience.
because
I
Maurice
guess that's
Clarett
true.
only played 1 year. Yeah.
No, that makes sense because there's a lot of kids who will play like basketball. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then they do I guess a sports switch. So
Yeah. The football's the only one that you have to like. The NFL's just like, hey, we're not taking anybody until you're 3 years out. Just like that was the one thing that always made sense to me because let's be honest, you're still a fucking child. You know what I mean? Like your bones and everything haven't fully developed, and this was even back. I mean, shit, Maurice Clarett was what 2002.
oh, you're the Buckeye.
I'm just no, he was just the one that that I remember this
Yeah.
being a big issue about.
Sound like a big fan. So go ahead.
Nah, I just remember history, man. That's it.
Went to the moon in 1960. Go ahead. Sorry, I remember that song from Even Stevens. Fun fact.
That's what's up. Never watched it.
Shia LaBeouf, big movie star.
Yeah, it was this TV show. I didn't watch that.
My sister did, and I just happen to remember that song. Go ahead.
That's what's up. Forgot where I was going.
Something about Maurice Clarett.
No, because the fact you had me going. Your question though was, where does this put everybody? For the top tier guys that were already top tier, status quo. What this non-season really does is hurt those other guys.
Yeah, that are trying to prove themselves.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: your top 5 are going to be your top 5. Yeah, you could anywhere from 6 on down. Somebody could easily just came out of nowhere and put themselves at a 6th spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, not Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's an easy draft pick. He's top 5.
I mean, dude, he's potentially number 1, depending.
Potentially. I mean, like it really depends on.
I'm not saying he is.
I mean, we went over the league already, but.
I mean, dude, he has a Joe Burrow season, wins another natty. Like, that for sure puts him in contention of number 1. So what do you think about? So let's say you are an NFL owner, okay, or GM or whatever position you want to be, and you're going into the NFL 2021 or the 2021 NFL draft, and you're preparing. If there is no NCAA football season this year, do you as an owner, do you think that as far as negotiating contracts for rookies, do you because I know there's minimums. If I'm not mistaken, there's minimums you have to pay drafted players, at least in the first round. But do you think that's going to affect anything as far as signing players? I mean, I'm not saying it will because I know there's certain guidelines.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about it, man, because I'm thinking from an owner standpoint, you have a lot of leverage. You can be like, well, you had a whole year off, buddy. So you're not really proven right now. You're coming in cold. I feel like that really takes away from the hype of player. Like right now, Joe Burrow's fire. Everyone's I mean, he's guaranteed. Granted, there's no one else in Cincinnati, but guaranteed starter. You're drafting him, you're paying him, expecting him to do big things. And I almost feel like players coming in, even despite maybe having a year off, if they decide not to come back to school in 2021 and declare, that's just going to be crazy when we're just speculating on what they're going to be able to do. Yeah. That's a whole year of development. That just blows my mind, man. That's a whole year of development before you take that huge speed change. Talk about a tough transition for these guys. You know what I mean?
Negotiation wise for the contract, like you said, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, there's just kind of.
Yeah, I kind of killed my own question with my own answer.
I mean, that just kind of takes care of itself.
Just speculate on what you think the impact will be as far as players that haven't even gone full speed on a football field for over a year, then migrating to the NFL.
Here's the thing. That part I personally don't think that's gonna affect my decision. If I'm the front office, that's not gonna affect my decision. Well, I guess if you're
drafting, I guess just in general, the general thought of having a year off and transitioning college to
Yeah,
pro. Do you think it's beneficial to have a year of prep, or do you think it would be more beneficial to play a full season going right into the NFL Combine?
Prep, because here's what you're prepping is your body the entire time. You know, you got a full year of not getting hit. You played football, and that was and it was just high school. You know what I'm saying? Like your body was sore the next day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm speaking. I played in high school, and my body was sore the next day.
I did.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit. I didn't get hurt.
I mean,
That's
when you hit like a Mack truck like myself,
I got hurt a ton.
Yeah. I mean, like, but that's the thing. I mean, like, you know, I like to hit, so I mean, like, I was looking for the put my body into it, and you know, I remember Saturdays I was like, oh, okay. You know, it took till later in the afternoon before I was like, I felt back to normal. I mean, you're a kid, you can bounce back pretty quick, right? Mm-hmm. When you're playing with other kids, not damn near men. And I think that year off, I'm just a big believer in that actually being better. I mean, look, you know, yeah, I just don't think that's I look at that as a positive.
Sure.
I definitely think that's a positive to
time will tell.
Be able to get somebody like Trevor Lawrence where he's, you know.
Yeah, a QB I think is one thing. That's
even a running back. The only way I think this hurts linemen, offensive linemen, and not saying that offensive linemen are lazy by any means. I'm not trying to say that. But I just feel like the offensive lineman is going to be the position where it actually would hurt not having the repetition.
I feel like defenders too, man.
And what's that defense?
Is like a linebacker, a corner, like defensive
Say
back,
defensive
like
line.
just not seeing live action and responding and attacking. Like that's just a long time off. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I'm picturing me as a linebacker, and like there would be a difference between finishing a season and transitioning compared to not really seeing live action for over a year. Yeah. Like that would be a little different, man. Like shit would be coming at you quickly. Now, like you said, you'd be healed, you'd be healthy.
Here's what you've done the entire season. If you've watched every offense. I was gonna say you've watched every offense going into the NFL because you're just like, okay, what are these tells? I mean, because here's the thing: once you get into college football, maybe I'm assuming too much, but once you get into college football, you are actually you learn how to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like when I played, it was a lot of okay. There were a few things that you kind of watch and all that stuff, but you know, for the most part, you were just reacting. You know, where they teach you how to study and how to watch tape, and you can sit there and be like, oh, you know, his knuckles turn white. They're pulling left. You know what I mean? Like you could spend that amount of time watching every team because now you have a full year. You don't have to worry about your studies. You know, like as far as like schoolwork because you're not going to school. You're just working your body and your brain. I think that at the end of the day, it would actually be a ton more beneficial for these guys, for these players coming in, and there'll be a hell of a ton of rookies out there next year if they don't have a season at all. But they're also talking about not canceling the entire season. They're just talking about canceling the fall and possibly starting seeing what spring brings too. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm saddened, and the selfish side of me is disappointed that, you know, we're not gonna, you know, have football. I was really excited for Mel Tucker, and I was excited for my Spartans.
All right, smooth transition, CB. I see what you did there. So
I was thinking.
I guess I'm just the question master today. But as far as Mel Tucker, like I was thinking about this the other day, and I'll be honest, man. Considering all the transition and changing, I mean, I know it's going to affect some of the players, but as from a coaching standpoint, dude just got a whole nother year to get his shit together with his front office, his coaching. I guess I should say front office, but coaching staff, his recruiting, like getting his players now on one mindset. They're not shifting over a couple months. The next year. This new system, this new mindset of Coach Tucker that he's bringing to the Spartans, dude. It's like it's kind of like okay, I'm gonna speak for myself here. I was gonna say, dude, I don't know about you, but I think I prefer spaghetti as leftovers. Like, I feel like all that shit just incorporates together and soaks
Oh, you
in.
put your sauce and meat and everything together?
I like to mix, yeah.
I
Now,
don't do that.
I can do it separate. It don't bother me that much.
I
But,
like the extra
like,
sauce to meat or to
but I
noodle
guess, like,
ratio.
that's fine. And there's just, I mean, that was the one example I thought of.
I know.
But,
Well,
like,
you got me on spaghetti now.
yeah, but, like, my dad made some stir fry the other day. So, like, that shit sat for a half hour. He went back for a second bowl, and that shit had, like, come together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, in general, I guess what I'm referring to is, like, it's like it's aging like fine wine, and I'm really hoping that this new Spartan program is just gonna just come together, man. You know what I mean? Everything's gonna, like, those flavors are gonna infuse, and, like, I'm really hoping. No, I'm really hoping that plays,
To our
positively into our favor. Yes.
Yeah.
And Michigan doesn't have to lose to us this year. So they lucked out. I mean, everybody's fucking breathing a sigh of relief because they knew the Dark Horse Spartans were coming. They knew it. I can hear Sparrow right now going, facts.
Wiping the sweat from his brow.
He's probably over here like, chirp, chirp, Ball State.
Yeah,
chirp,
right.
chirp.
He's like, I never liked Michigan anyways. I'm Ball State all the way. I bleed red.
Sparrow, I'm challenging you directly. I want you to, when you share our podcast on Facebook this time, I want you to comment on who's your number one, Ball State or Michigan. My vote's Ball State.
I'm hoping that he shares it before he listens, just because he knows it's straight fire. So
yeah, right.
So I'm not gonna hold you to that. Just share that shit.
I think he went to Ball State though. He's prideful in where he played ball, so I think he would take Ball State over Michigan.
All day.
Plus, I mean, he ain't stupid. Why would he take Michigan?
Right.
He was raised in that shit. That's not his fault. He didn't know any better.
Bad parenting.
And that's fine, Chris. You know what?
I met both of his parents, and they're really nice people.
Anyway.
His mom's a sweetheart and his dad's a cop. So what's up?
Yeah, right. Gang.
Can't breathe. Leave me alone.
Too soon.
Yeah. It wasn't really a joke. It was just more to reminding everybody that shit happened. Just a reminder. That's at the forefront of my mind all the time. So, yeah. I was trying to think of where I was gonna go with that because we were just talking about Michigan, Ohio State chirping back and forth, or Michigan, Ohio State were chirping back and forth this week. Thought it was adorable. Harbaugh was basically saying, did you hear about that? Where Harbaugh was like, you guys have been practicing when you're not supposed to and having coaches. And Ryan Day was like, why don't you worry about your own team?
Right.
And
why are you being a bitch? Beat this program first, then come at me.
Yeah, he's like, why are you being a bitch? Like, shut the fuck up. And
he
then
hasn't even played Harbaugh yet, talking shit.
Yeah, right. Well, he played him last year.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping, bro.
Yeah,
I forgot he was there last year. Last year was his inaugural season.
And he kept on chirping, like Harbaugh kept on chirping at him throughout this whole fucking conference call. He goes, you know what? You better hope that the fucking Big Ten implements a mercy rule because I'm running 100 on you. I was like, let's go. That's the kind of shit talking I want from coaches.
I'll be honest. That's about the most rivalry we've seen between those two schools in a decade. Right? So
that fucking conversation.
So, and you already know. Well, I guess I'm just gonna put my hating pants on. I was gonna say my comment in the gram in the dank memes. I was like, it's easy to talk when you know you ain't gonna play.
Right.
I ain't hear Harbaugh talk shit to Ohio State. I could be wrong. Michigan fans, all of you that listen, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember Harbaugh coming out talking mad shit about the Buckeyes.
I haven't heard
it. I feel like you got. I mean, in general,
in
my opinion, in sports, it's got to be earned. You got to earn the right to shit talk.
Well, he tried to tattle, and that didn't work out so well. So he's just like, well, let me try and talk some shit too.
Yeah.
So I kind of in a group there, I made a comment about, do you think he wants to get fired so he doesn't have to quit? I mean, pull the fucking Band-Aid off Michigan and let this guy go. He can't continue to get his ass whooped and fall short of not only the university's expectation, but the nation's expectations. Because here's the thing. Here's when I say the nation. These motherfuckers are ranked stupid high
every year.
They jumped up to number 3 last year after beating 2 teams. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they just look for a reason to build a story for him, and I was just like, man, this dude just wants to get fired so he can get the fuck out.
And I'm just, because we've been roasting Chris a little bit, I'm going to give props to Chris, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was one of the few Michigan fans that I actually heard him say we should not be ranked that high after these 2 games. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like, when you talk about realists, he's one of, I would say, maybe 3 Michigan fans that I can think of that are actually educated enough in sports to know if their team should or should not be. I mean, like, we're big Sparties. Right, go figure.
But we're real Sparties.
But at the same time, I have no problem getting on the mic and saying we fucking look like shit and we deserve to lose that game. Like, I don't ever come on and be like, we got cheated. We got cheated. No, we're always like, Lombardi fucking sucks. Lewerke fucking sucks. D'Antonio fucking sucks.
I never said D'Antonio sucked. I just said
we have talked about poor coaching.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. But my point being is like,
I kept on throwing him lifelines, though. I'm like, come on,
I know
Coach
you did. Yeah, now you're like, fuck him, Coach Mel.
Yeah. Let's go, Tucker. Relentless. Let's do this.
Right. I'm so pumped we have a college football segment, even though there's probably not going to be a season.
I know.
We haven't talked college football in how long, and we're like, hey, season's canceled. Let's talk about Spartans.
Yeah.
I'm hitting my laptop, dude. I'm getting all excited over here.
Actually, here's what you did. You just put the Spartan fucking flag in there real quick to let everybody know, hey, Spartan. So, yeah.
My dad. So, side note. I'm gonna side note off sports. My dad was telling me a story because he's been listening to our podcast. So shout out, Pops. Thanks for listening. And he said he had to go buy buds. I think he might have been telling you this at the bar. He had to go buy buds because sometimes he'll put it on speakerphone at work and we'll say some dumb shit like, it's just rape. And like his co-workers will be like, excuse me? and he's got to be like, that's my son. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so Dad, I'm glad your buds are working because I'm trying to get you fired.
Right.
Could you imagine that? I'd have to just like filter money to my parents because I'd be guilty for getting my dad fired. I'd be here's your allowance.
Right.
The day that the time when kids give parents allowance, that'll be the day. I am 30 now, bro. Retirement's right around the corner. I'm getting there, dude.
Ready.
I'm getting there. I feel my body breaking down. I knew the storm was coming because my knees. I can feel it in my knees. That's what happens. That's what happens to old people, right? You feel shit in your knees.
Nah, dude. But I must have known it was gonna be. I don't know what happened. I woke up and my back was hurt, and I was like, "What the fuck? What's happening?" Oh, anyways, I don't know where I was gonna go with Tucker and the rest. U of M, all that shit. Yeah, whatever. I started watching Nebraska's head coach talk, and then I ran out of. But he put out a little statement that, and I can appreciate the coaches sticking up for the players, but we also got to realize, like, I mean, and he made a lot of points, man. A lot of people are jobs. A lot of people are gonna get furloughed.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, he's just like, he said there, he goes, let's not even talk about, and he's sitting there going, all the millions of dollars the school's going to lose, all the millions of dollars that the football program's going to lose. He's just like, let's talk about, not even the employees that are going to lose their jobs. And I'm just sitting there going.
So here, I want to rebuttal that right now.
Did you listen to it? Did you listen to it?
I had the Nebraska coach in press conference on my TV, but I was
gotcha.
Clean the apartment. So I'll be honest, no, I didn't hear a lot. I heard it, but I didn't take it in. So I couldn't repeat anything he said. But this is what I'll say, just based upon employees, staff, potentially not getting paid or getting a percentage. And at the end of the day, the way I see it is all of this is for the students. Like, in my opinion, if you're a college football coach, okay, and now because of this pandemic, this is going to create more awareness moving forward on how these coaches sign their contracts and things like that, like this will be huge moving forward in a lot of situations and with jobs. But at the end of the day, like, I can't see the NCAA saying, you know what, you're right. I want to make sure my coaches get paid. Let's put the kids at risk. Like, I know the coaches are there too, but without the students, there isn't a football team. So, like, I understand their concern. I understand the frustration. But, like, basically what you're saying is that my security is more important than my students' or, like, health.
Right.
And, like, that can never – now, I don't want to skew what this Nebraska coach said. I'm not saying that's what he meant. I'm not saying that's what he wants.
For the kids. He was trying to speak for the kids.
But in general, you know, just reflecting based upon the individuals out there who are concerned about, well, what about my money? Like, how is this going to affect me? And I get it. That's valid. I'm not saying don't think that way. But at the end of the day, way back when you decided that you wanted to work on an athletic sports team, now we can't foresee a pandemic. But all I'm saying is, at the core of what you're doing, you're helping develop kids into adults through, like,
you decided to be a teacher, but without a classroom.
Exactly. I mean, it's essential. In a sense, you're absolutely correct. You're helping develop young adults into adults. Like, you're there to play sports, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think you would agree. In rocket football, you're teaching kids the fundamentals, but you're also teaching them a lot about life. Following the rules,
Coach
structure
Wooden
is important.
He always spoke about how he wasn't there to coach them in basketball. He's just like, this is a chance for me to coach men into young men.
He always said
so that. He was always about, like, basketball's basketball, and he's like, I love the sport of basketball. It's given me everything I've ever had. But he's also just like, I got the opportunity to help coach boys into men. Because let's be honest, when you are 18, you're still a boy when you go to college. So he's getting a boy, and he's just like, I'm going to show you how to be a man. And that's what these coaches are supposed to be doing. That's what a lot of these winning organizations, will say, I'm hoping hope coach this young boy into a man, except for Coach Saban.
And
he's
I
like,
will say,
we're here to win football games.
And I will say, not all coaches have that mentality. Not everyone is there to develop people into men. Like, some people are there to coach that sport, make them successful, and let them move on and handle their own life. And I'm not saying that's a bad way of going about it either. But at the end of the day, when I look at that, and you're absolutely correct, like, you nailed it. Like, I look at Coach Izzo and how Coach Izzo's outlook is on his team. And he is truly wanting that these young men to grow into grown-ass men, so when they move forward and their career is over, or whatever they decide to do past basketball, they're ready for the real world. Like, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Sparty. I'm saying that because as a human being, I don't want to call it a sacrifice, but, like, what a way to utilize your time on this earth than to continuously develop, like, young men into grown men, bro. Like, I mean, that's huge.
Well, like, look at any Spartan that's ever played for him in the league. You haven't seen anybody go bananas out there because he's still handling business at the end of the day.
I understand that. I'm just saying, like, as far as, like, being a little outspoken, but he's also, in my opinion, he's probably the biggest Michigan State star since in the Izzo era that came into the NBA. Now,
that's solely because he lucked the fucking winning draw of getting in Green Bay.
Okay, we're getting off topic, but you can't knock Draymond for being drafted by the Warriors.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, I'm just like, but Zach Randolph was a better basketball player than he was.
Yeah.
And that's a coach's
I would agree. So I would completely agree with you on that, by the way. Zach Randolph.
Yeah, he was a monster,
he's probably one of the best Spartans.
Yeah, well, I mean, because you gave Draymond a lot, and I'm just like, well, there's a lot of, like, Draymond he came up in an era where the basketball players can try to make a living outside of basketball, where that wasn't so up in the forefront when Zach Randolph was coming up.
But you still can't take that. To me,
I'm
not
I don't trying to take it away from him. Yeah.
But you're correct. You're pointing out a fact, which I agree with. But, like, even though I agree with you, Zach Randolph is probably one of the best put together overall players that had a professional career that came out of Michigan State.
Where he went.
Well, we're not counting Magic. We're talking Izzo era.
Right.
Let's be clear. Yeah. But no, you're absolutely correct. I thought Zach Randolph was a absolutely dominant. Like, what did he play? A lot of 5. He played some 4, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think it depended on his roster, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
like you're right, Draymond lucked out. He got a team that fucking where Steph carried their ass to multiple championships. Like, yeah, and so yeah, he got lucky there. But I mean, nonetheless, you're absolutely correct.
He was the key part. I don't want to take away from. He was. I mean, when he was the big three.
You don't accidentally win Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
So got to do something.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him like that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Out of all the Michigan State basketball players that came out of Coach Izzo, basketball wise, and it just the world changed, and Draymond's actually able to make something outside of work.
Till this new recruiting class hits the court, baby. Let's go. We're about to be
Imani. Oh man.
Michigan's getting better too. I'm calling them out because they've landed a lot of big recruits. Juwan Howard's doing something right. Michigan's got the money to back it all up too. Their locker rooms and all that kind of shit, man. They spend buku dollars, and that's why they have a top recruiting class every year. But I am super excited to see what Coach Izzo can do with the talent coming in, man. Like we haven't had this much recruiting talent, I will say, because we haven't seen it play out on the floor yet.
Right.
But we haven't had this much fire come into Michigan State, and
Flintstone.
Since I've been following basketball,
Flintstone.
I haven't. Yeah, exactly.
It.
And that was before I started watching basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man.
If we even have a season, but I mean.
Well, I was gonna say cross your fingers that these guys don't go to the G League.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers these guys don't. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of options for these players. But I would be. Here's my thing. So like let's just kind of touch base more on this now. In general, now we're going to use Michigan State, but anybody can kind of relate to this. I feel like if I were a student, okay, a high school student, and I was being recruited, and I chose to go to Michigan State, even though there is money out there, okay, and there's a lot more to it than just the money. You know what I mean? You still got to develop. You still got to have the right coaching to get you to where you're trying to go, which is ultimately the NBA. When you have that much talent all going to one place, I have a hard time thinking that these kids would say, that's a really good team. Nah. Like, I just, it blows my mind, bro. Like, they potentially, I mean, look at the team that we just took to the Final Four. Like, bunch of 2 stars, 1 stars, couple 3s, maybe. We're getting 5-star talent now, and we got multiple of them, and we got 4 stars. Like, I would hope to think that these kids, and you know AAU basketball better than me. I'm sure you do. These kids have played against each other. These kids know who each other are.
Durant and Kyrie used to play against each other.
So the thing is like when you play against each other and you know who's good, especially when you're number 1 in the country for the recruiting class.
KG and Steph used to play with each other.
Everyone knows who you are. Like, I would like to assume that these guys should collectively come together and be like, yo, we at least got to give it 1 year.
Yeah.
We got to give it a chance. Like, it would be foolish not to. Like, what was the point of the whole commitment? You know what I mean? Like, if you were, like, especially to that program, man. It'd be different if they were, like, going to, like, let's say, a Kentucky, where everybody knows you go one and done. You know what I mean? And then be like, oh, like, weak recruiting class. I'm not really feeling the roster. Like, I'm going to just go to the G League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but when you have this much young talent, you still got Rocket. You know what I mean? And, like, you still got tons of guys. I mean, I'll be honest, in my opinion. Yeah, Aaron Henry, too, but I'm thinking, like, freshmen, sophomores. Because Henry will be a junior now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. What about Gabe?
Gabe Brown's still young. I think Gabe will be a junior, though, too.
Yeah, but Gabe's not. I think Gabe's a senior. I think we get him all 4 years. No, I'm talking, like,
you think he'll stay another? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So anyways, you know, like,
he'll be
being
the Tillman.
a Sparty, it's easy to have a biased opinion and just assume that we're about to be dope as fuck. But I feel like our play over the last season, even 2 seasons, man, even though, you know, we didn't make it as deep, like, it's there. Like, that it factor is still there. We had it last year, and now Cassius carried us very deep. Tillman finally started playing some ball eventually. But my point being is, you know, we got Henry coming back. You still got Gabe Brown. You got Rocket, who got a whole year under Cassius. Hopefully he's been working his butt off in the offseason. You know, I still
see a lot on Instagram. I get a lot of, Rocket just went live notifications.
Yeah, he does. He was live with Imani.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
So, I'm just hopeful, man. I think that we can do something really special. So hopefully everybody decides that they want to play, and we go from there.
I think personally, I think a lot has to do how much money can they make, right?
Mm.
And so right now, from what I understand, they haven't changed. I mean, like the only rule you can have, I mean, like, hey, you're gonna be able to make money on your likeness, right? But a lot of times, the people that you would hire to figure that out for you is banned by the NCAA. Like you can't get an agent, you can't get management. All right, those are two people right there that are going to work to figure out what they can make off your likeness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you get an accountant? Is that going to be a problem? What about lawyer? I mean, like to really figure out. I mean, like at this point, you got to let these guys start getting representation. I honestly believe if you want to keep the top tier, younger, high school kids to keep coming to college, because I just don't know. Maybe somebody like if Mikey Williams stays like blowing up the internet like he has been, he might be able to be somebody that's like, oh, I'm gonna make more money in college because I'm gonna get money off my jersey and all that shit. But Imani, I mean, like, he's big, but I mean, I don't know if he's a lot
he's
of
a
merchandise
forward.
big.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money wise. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, I see.
Be able to so I mean.
I mean, first of all, none of these kids are. He's the number one recruit. That don't mean he's going to be like superstar in the NCAA.
Right. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So,
there.
like, I'm just trying to I think that you got to start letting these players start being able to have these conversations with the agents and the and creating a management team and all that stuff.
Well, doesn't the likeness start in 2021?
Yeah.
By the time these kids are going to be playing, so like they legitimately should be having those conversations, if I'm not mistaken. Like that will be happening, correct?
Right, but I mean, like, I haven't heard if like what the rules are on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're probably
like because I mean, like, I don't know if it's a flat fee. Like every player makes this amount of money off of.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
And I mean, I think that if you're somebody like an Imani, and you come into a program, you should be able to say, well, who's giving a better deal for my likeness? Gosh. I mean, now it's business, man. It's business. It's always been business, but now the players actually get a taste.
Bro, we're going to have such a good lineup. Still got Bingham, Marcus Bingham Jr. Still got Malik Hall, now that he's out of his freshman year. You still got Thomas Kithier, who's a fucking workaholic.
Hey, did you say the kid that came from Marquette?
That would have been
because he had to sit out last year.
Was that Joey Hauser?
I think
Joey Hauser. Joey Hauser.
Yeah.
Because he was a redshirt sophomore. He's from Wisconsin. Yeah, Marquette. It was Joey Hauser. Yep. So Hauser.
He's gonna be balling.
6'9" forward that can shoot the three.
Yeah,
ball.
I told you he's a big, really tall white kid. That's all I can remember.
Henry's back. Josh Langford put in for another year. Did you see that? So you got Josh Langford fighting to come back for. I can't remember if it was cleared or not, but if we get him back, bro.
Hey, lights out,
bro. I mean, our lineup, our lineup would be Rocket at the 1, probably Langford at the 2.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but like I don't think our big recruits are going to hit the floor, because I would be probably putting Hauser. I'd probably put Hauser at the 4.
Yeah.
He's a stretch 4. He's like a Kevin Durant type. I'm not saying he's Kevin Durant, but I'm saying he can play a 4
long
and he can be all over the place. I mean, and then I would assume you'd probably have to put. Dude, you know what's fucked up? You know what I think you got to do? You got to put. Bingham will have to play center. he's a true forward, but he'll have to play center because Braden Burke,
We're not a very big
I'll be honest, I didn't
basketball
really
team.
mess with
Haven't
Braden.
been.
He was our 7-foot guy. He transferred. He went to Central Michigan, fucking Chippewa, piece of shit. So you would have to put Gabe Brown at the 3. You got to put Hauser at the 4, and then you got to put Bingham at the 5.
Yeah.
And that's a stud 5, man.
Hey, Lawyer's out too, so we don't even have a backup point. Who's our point? Who's our backup point?
Hurt? What do you mean?
No, I thought he was a senior last year.
Foster Lawyer was a sophomore.
Really?
Hmm?
Thank you, baby Jeebus.
Yeah, no.
I feel confident when he's out on the court.
Arns was a redshirt senior. He's gone.
Okay.
Winston's gone. Tillman's gone.
Yeah.
And what's his nuts? Braden Burke transferred. Those are the 4 guys we lost.
Okay. Well, shit.
Which realistically, Tillman, Arns, Winston. Those were our big losses.
I was gonna say I feel very. Here's the thing: is I like the.
And you know what's great is the guys filling their void are guys who all played last year. All got significant floor time.
A lot of players.
Bingham probably got the least amount of floor. Well, except Hauser, but Hauser doesn't transfer and sit a season and come in and sit the bench.
No.
Unless somebody outworks him to earn the position, I don't foresee that. He's going to be coming in as a junior, 6'9", 220. Who can play all aspects.
And he was balling. He was balling in Marquette, dude.
So I just don't see that.
He came to Michigan State so he could get seen.
Be deep, man. We're gonna be deep. Kithier on the bench. You still got Jack Hoiberg and Foster Lawyer, who can still play the 1. Malik Hall off the bench. Julius Marble off the bench. Not to mention our recruits. I'm good with it.
Yeah. I'm happy. I don't know how we ended up there, but I don't know. I want to know how much a G League initial contract is and how much wiggle room they have there, because that's something that I we were sitting there. I'm like thinking about the go white. That's the stuff I was kind of thinking about when we were having that conversation as far as go to college or play ball.
Hey, shout out CB Watkins. I yelled "Go Green" at this guy after he had walked out the bar and he was in the lobby. Motherfucker screams "Go White." I told my dad, it doesn't matter where CB is. He could be in a library. He'll respond "Go White."
Yeah. Oh yeah. As long as I hear it, we're good.
Yeah.
No. What's your deal? I'm sorry. Sorry, listeners. I got an 8-year-old down here bothering me for all sorts of nonsense right now. Dad, can I have the keys to the car? I'll just take it around the block.
I never asked that.
So, let's see here. What else we got here?
Got a bubble.
I was gonna say, what are your thoughts about the actual only sport that seems to be able to know how to do it right? My NBA.
I could be mistaken. I haven't heard one player or staff member or coaching member test positive for COVID.
Adam Silver.
You want to know what I hear in the NBA when the next game is, and they talk about the games played. That's what I hear. That's all I hear.
The biggest news of the week was Dame Lillard.
And no team from Florida had 19 positive cases of corona. Marlins.
But out of Orlando.
But I'm saying,
you
see what happens.
The Cardinals
with
had what, 13?
Not in a bubble, and you see what happens with teams in a bubble. What have you heard about the NHL, CB, other than the fact that no one watches the NHL?
I did see cats kneeling.
Yeah. Well, my point being, no one tested.
That's about it. COVID. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like this is the only thing I've heard about this is the only thing I have heard of the NHL.
There's actually been some really.
They're not
good
the Stanley. They're not the Stanley Cup. So I'm like, meh.
Yeah. Well, playoffs are about to start. Now they have their bracket. They have their playoff seeds. So.
We're gonna have to do the. Wait, when do they start the playoffs?
I think either this weekend or next week.
Oh wait, if they got the bracket out. Let's pick them out.
All right.
We did it last year. I'm curious now.
NHL.
I hate to break tradition now that we're almost up on 2 years. So.
Yeah. I get it, man.
Hey, so are you nervous at all for the Lakers?
I think that's strong. No, I'm not. The Lakers have not hit stride. The Lakers, for some reason, forgot how to play offense. But at the end of the day, no, I'm not nervous. Um, like at all,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and I have faith that these guys are gonna be able to flip the switch. Now,
Right.
typically when we're talking like sales at Verizon or we're talking little things, we tell people you know we can't just flip the switch. You got to be prepared. You got to go in stride. And I know you and me kind of slowly like small talked it, and I was like, game 7, game 8, you're gonna see these guys full strength coasting into the playoffs. My whole thing is, even though Anthony Davis doesn't have like deep runs into the playoff, like you got LeBron James, who had gone to 8 straight NBA finals.
Mhm.
Like, and now granted, this is a completely different situation. We're seeing some crazy things. I mean,
Yeah,
you got
extra
the
time last year.
Suns who are undefeated. You got TJ Warren for the Pacers,
Straight
who's
up
averaging
Booker.
35 a game.
TJ
So like,
Booker, both those two.
so we're seeing some crazy stuff right now. But at the end of the day, greatness is greatness. Like, LeBron is still going to turn it on. Anthony Davis is still going to follow suit. I think Danny Green, who just came off a fresh ring, Danny Green will still shoot, so hopefully get into rhythm, and I think he'll find that rhythm. You know what I mean? Like when that pressure is on, I feel like that's when you see the big timers really show out. And I'll be honest, man, like like I personally, I don't think from a superstar standpoint that all these guys are really going into every game knowing that they have to give 110%. Unless you're Dame Lillard, who's trying to get that 8 seed as with the Trailblazers, you know what I mean? Like these guys who are fighting for that 7 spot, that 8 spot right there on the bubble, those guys I know are putting out. Dame just put up 50. I mean, he just joined. He just joined like, yeah. So I'm 50 plus.
I'm gonna
but yeah,
give him. I'm gonna give him his one, man.
he deserves it. So he just joined an elite crew, bro. Like, there's only so many people who've been putting up 50 plus points a game multiple times.
Yeah.
And so my point being, I have faith that, and I keep on saying LeBron and Anthony Davis. Well, let's just be fucking honest. That is the LA Lakers. I'm sorry. Like, if anybody wants to argue with me, go for it. But like, you take LeBron and Ant off that team, that Lakers squad is not first place in the West. Period.
Of course not, because we traded everything away we had.
Right. So, but my point
to
being
get
is,
Ant.
when we talk about are the Lakers, are they going to be ready? The question is will LeBron and Anthony Davis be ready? Because those two single-handedly could beat any team in the NBA, in my opinion. Any team.
So one thing I wanted to point out to everybody that maybe is questioning what's going on in LA right now, if you look at the minutes played.
Oh, everybody's sitting.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, a lot of the fucking, 13, 14, 15, 16 player are getting a lot more minutes than they were going to see come, well, I guess not 16th, but the 13th, 14th, 15th player on the bench are seeing more time. The second team is seeing more time than the starters are. And it's because of the fact it's a lightning storm there where Clay is. I saw that shit lightning in the background. I watched it. I didn't hear any thunder, but count. One,
I heard it.
Two.
I just heard it.
All
right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Proficient Fans this week.
I know, right?
I'm going to go outside with a golf club in my hand.
But no, I think a lot of people aren't realizing the amount of minutes that the main guys are actually playing. When I say main guys, the starters, you know what I'm saying? The guys that you look to carry the team, like LeBron. And I mean, like, shit, LeBron and AD, I think, are scheduled out the next game anyways.
Yeah. I think they're both playing tonight, though, if I'm not mistaken.
They might.
I'm pretty sure. I know LeBron is playing tonight.
Limited minutes, I think, is what it was because of the sore groin and
But
starting.
I'm pretty sure he's starting.
Wait, what time is it? It's not even 9 o'clock.
They come on at 8.
Wow,
yeah,
we really. It's 9 o'clock. No, I mean,
dude,
like.
You texted me, bro. I got super pumped. I was like, let's go. I'm gonna have a night.
I know, right? Like, I got scared. I got scared of the of the storms coming through. So I was just like, I want to make sure that we try to get a recording in. So
I think you should get scared more often.
it's the problem. Like, she's like lackadaisical. Like, oh, hey, I guess I can eat one more meal before we record. Let me break out every dish in the kitchen. Did you get that up?
Yeah,
Hockey?
I have actually had it up. So when you
That's
switch
what's
topics, I like basically had the bracket up.
That's what's up.
I mean, do we want to stay on topic?
Well,
I don't have anything else to say.
There's not really much for me to say. I have enjoyed.
I know what I was gonna say.
Damn good at Paul George on social media because that was been fun.
Yeah. I know what I was gonna say. Was it not? I could be mistaken. Was it not you who thought the Pelicans were gonna go deep in the playoffs?
I don't know if I said deep, but I thought
you talked about Pelicans' success.
I probably had bought into the program, but they got bounced the fuck out.
I just remember you hyping up Zion and Brandon Ingram. That's what I remember. And
well,
I remember
that was before I saw that they were gonna fucking limited minute.
Well,
Zion.
they're already out of the playoffs. I'm just saying. So I just want to throw that out
because
there.
when they first came back in, they limited minutes him. He didn't even play the last fucking few minutes of the first.
I understand that. I'm just saying.
I mean,
that
they were only introduced to the.
That's all I'm saying. Yep.
Nope, that's just showing that they are poor planners down there in fucking New Orleans.
Wrong, and you're wrong.
Trash. Give me a
all right.
organization.
We're gonna end the segment on CB
wait.
into the NHL.
J. Cole. What about your boy J. Cole and the Pistons fucking Field of Dreams bullshit?
So first of all, you said that like you're not a J. Cole fan.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I do like.
Second of all, that
Cole,
becomes a talking point once I actually see some shit going down. Until then,
they sat there and said, "Hey, yo, we're gonna give you a shot." That's what they said.
No, I agree with you, but like nothing has happened since.
Stupid.
I guess nothing has happened since.
Hey,
this is what I'll say. This is the only thing I'm gonna say. What the fuck do the Pistons have to lose right now? Publicity.
All right.
All that was publicity.
I'm butter from outside.
Do
I get a shot?
All you have to do is post multiple videos on social media about actually balling out and have a history in basketball. That's all you got to do. But you don't have any of that. So unfortunately,
in high school
you aren't.
And
remember, J. Cole's done pickup games with NBA players. He's got a little bit of influence. I'm not saying he's gonna make it. I don't think he does. Nobody just says, I'm going to try out. Oh, I made the squad. No.
He
will not make a squad. If he does, that will be miraculous.
The only rapper I think that's out there right now that could actually stand a fucking chance of making an NBA team is who?
Quavo.
No, Dave East. Dave East.
Hey, Quavo balls, though. Wasn't he thinking about trying out for football?
He might have been.
Wasn't it football? I thought he was.
Because he's quick.
I don't remember what sport it now.
But...
Yeah, I don't remember what sport it was now.
Nah, Dave East. And here, just remember that Percy Miller, a.k.a. Master P, he actually got some preseason games under his belt.
Anyways.
So, no, I think that it's pointless. I was really disappointed in the organization as a whole. Sitting there saying,
you're just salty.
Hey, we saw you see some jumpers in a gym with some fucking...
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like jealousy. Sounds like envy. Plus, the way I saw you shoot outside on your own hoop, you're trash, bro. You ain't never gonna make it.
I was mad fucking wasted.
I don't know if you noticed, but every shot of mine came a solid foot short, so I hit front of the rim more than anybody else.
Look. This is the reason why I know I'm not good enough for the NBA. A drunk NBA team, anybody in the NBA drunk could probably still make more shots than I could when I was sober.
Yeah, tell that to Ron Artest.
I know that dude was a monster, man. Hey kid, go down to the corner and get me a pint.
Can you imagine that guy in a pickup game drinking his pint of Hennessy as he's picking his team?
Take him.
All right. I know
you pass the ball a lot.
Yeah, no shit. I know you and I are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to the NHL.
Oh, like back of my hand.
So you guys, for all you listeners,
Going off the name.
you are about to get the Proficient Fan Stanley Cup Champion 2020 bracket Oracle breakdown.
Are
real
you
quick.
are you filling it out or?
I'm literally gonna submit my bracket right now for the $1 million.
Oh wait a minute. What are you on? I'll pull it up.
NHL.com.
Is that it? Okay.
But you have to create a login. So just a heads up, you got to create a profile.
Jesus.
I already had a profile because I did it last year.
I did not.
Am I waiting? Is that what I'm doing?
Give me a minute. Yes, yeah, fucking kill the time. Kill the time. New to NHL Live? I am new to NHL Live. Here we go. We're gonna do this quick. Hopefully it doesn't take long. Give me a talk about while we're doing this. Instead of
people are trying to follow me on Instagram. I'm a big popular person, so
here you go, big time.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the NHL is one of two leagues, including the NBA, who has managed to put a bubble together for their league, and they've had 0 positive COVID tests. Actually, I might be wrong. There might have been a coach who had a scare there for a minute, but nonetheless, if it ain't big news, obviously it ain't that big of a deal. But Proficient Fans Bracket. I'm going to put Proficient Fans Clay, and you can make your bracket name Proficient Fans CB. And so yeah, no, the NHL did 2 bubbles. Obviously, they've been successful, but we finally, after some round robin play, have a solidified bracket. Also, new news: the Detroit Red Wings got the 4th pick in the draft because they do a lottery just like the NBA. So fingers crossed for the Red Wings draft next year. Hopefully that goes well. I actually think they do their draft more recently than later, but nonetheless. So I know CB and I last year, we kind of went through the playoffs and we picked who we thought we was going to win and all that kind of stuff. But I'll be honest, man, I don't really think we followed it. So I think it'll be kind of cool this year.
We kind of went week by week, like, hey.
We didn't really follow it. So like, I'm excited to do this now. We'll both have our own brackets. We can pull it up and kind of like you and I can see who did better. You want to put a wager on this, CB? Non-monetary?
Okay. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if I win, you have to wear a Boston Celtics shirt.
No.
For a podcast episode.
Because I'm not going to spend my money on a Boston Celtics shirt.
I'll buy it. I changed my mind. I don't want to buy anything Boston.
I'm like, oh.
Even though I low-key root for the Red Sox. That's the only Boston team I mess with, though. Ooh, why don't we put a wager on the NHL? Loser has to buy the other one a 5th of whiskey.
Okay.
Capping at a certain price point, which will be later decided.
Fucking bullshit. Fuck you, NHL. Fuck you in your face.
I need you to hurry up. We're killing time. This is a boring segment.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, I thought I fucking just created an account, and it's like, okay, cool. And then when I go to try to sign in for win $1 million, it said you don't have an account. And I thought,
I'm gonna turn on this Lake show real quick. Lakers Nuggets, man. What do you think? You think the Lakers got it tonight?
I am not pressed about tonight. I would like to see not sloppy basketball. I would like to see good shot selections because I don't feel like we have been 100% on that. But
yeah, dude, LA's offense has been ugly. Hey, they got D. Does D Wade commentate every game?
I haven't noticed.
They got him commentating tonight. So since the restart, LeBron has in 5 games he's averaging 21.6 points, shooting 45% field goals, 9.6 rebounds, 6.4 assists, averaging 33.8 minutes. The Lakers are last in points, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and assists. Not clutch. Especially considering that there's teams eliminated from the playoffs, and the Lakers are averaging worse than those teams that are not in the playoffs. That's embarrassing. But I would say out of all the teams in the bubble, the Lakers have probably played their starters the least out of anybody.
Yeah. Well, we clinched once we clinched the number 1 seed. We're just like, all right.
Which happened in 3 games into the
right.
Into the bubble.
So at that point, it only makes sense to not play your guys. And I don't know. I've been very impressed with what Vogel's doing. He seems to, and I watch a lot of JaVale's YouTube videos, Life in the Bubble, and he gets on there a little bit, not a lot, but enough where I'm just like, he's entertaining to JaVale to, hey, okay, I get it, you're just creating content, let's have some fun and move forward. So, all right, I am actually got a bracket up here. So who you got, Vegas or Chicago?
Vegas all day, every day. Las Vegas Golden Knights. Fuck the Blackhawks. I don't like Chicago Blackhawks. I don't care. Regardless if the Blackhawks were a favorite, I'm going Golden Knights all day, every day.
I will definitely be going Vegas, mostly because the fact that when we started the podcast, I think this was on, and
they won the Stanley Cup that year, didn't they?
No, they lost the Stanley Cup that year to Washington.
Oh yeah, they made it to the Stanley Cup. Yep.
Look who's proficient about NHL.
I'm gonna let you have this win because you don't get many. I'm gonna let you have this one.
Colorado, Arizona.
Go ahead.
I'm going Colorado, only because I know nothing better. And, I mean, I'm going off of history there.
Well, Mr. Watkins, if you knew anything about the NHL, you'd know the Colorado Avalanche, even though maybe not of recent, is a huge rival to the Detroit Red Wings. Going with the I was going to say Arizona, but I thought they were the Phoenix Coyotes, unless I'm so out of the hockey realm that they've changed their name to the Arizona Coyotes. I'm going Coyotes. Upset 7-2.
I was gonna say statistical advantage is the Avalanche. So
barely. Who you got for Dallas Stars against the Calgary Flames?
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, cement bracket, whatever. I'm pulling it back up. I'm sorry. I'm going to go Dallas because their farm team used to be here in Kalamazoo.
I'm only laughing because that's such a great reason to vote for something when you don't follow the NHL. You're like, their farm league used to be in my city. That's enough. So my gut tells me to go with the Stars. So I'm going to go with the Stars here. I almost picked Calgary. Just because they have, both teams have been pretty good for a while now. But the bubbles are in Edmonton and Toronto. That's where all of the NHL games were played. And so, I kind of wanted to give, the Canadian teams a little bump because of that reason.
Yeah.
But guess what? Calgary is not in either of those cities. I think Dallas takes it.
So, wait, I got a question. What's your because my highest seed versus okay, that's how they're doing it. Okay, gotcha.
By the way, the NHL reseeds after each round.
Yeah, I'm seeing that because I'm like, why the fuck do I have Colorado and Dallas, and then I have Vegas against St. Louis?
Yeah, they reseed.
So if you didn't catch that, I said St. Louis is winning against Vancouver.
You got St. Louis over Vancouver. So I am, just because I have seen enough from Vancouver in the past, I'm going to go with Vancouver in this matchup. I think St. Louis does not defend their championship from last year. I think they're going to get upset in the first round. I'm going to go Canucks. I'm going Canucks on this one. Which that's a ballsy move, Cotton. That's a that's a ballsy move, Cotton. I think St. Louis is still a very strong team, but I like the Canuckles.
All right. What about Philly against Montreal?
Philly.
Yeah, that's what I got. Philly too.
I don't see, and even though if you see the stat breakdown, obviously it's all lopsided. Um, my memory could be wrong. I don't remember too many 1 seeds in the NHL being upset in the first round.
Right.
I just don't see that happen too often. So I'm going Flyers.
And I went Tampa Bay Lightning against.
Columbus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a terrible call either. Tampa Bay's a great team.
They've been good for a long time. I do remember.
Yeah, I'm a big Steven Stamkos fan, and I think that Tampa's offense, they're big goal scorers, and that's with or without that breakdown. But I think Tampa gets the best Blue Jackets. Plus Columbus. Who likes Columbus? Who you got for Washington and Islanders?
So here, I'm going New York.
I am also going New York. I think the Islanders, and obviously I'm not an NHL expert, but I do know that these Islanders are a solid team. I'm a huge Ovechkin fan. I'm a huge Ovechkin fan. So like, I'll be honest, part of me, I may regret not picking Washington. Oh man, now I'm going against Ovi, dude. I'm a huge Ovi fan. I'm changing my pick. I'm going Washington.
You won't go against Ovi?
I can't go against Ovi, dude. I said it, and then I was like, oh my god. I felt like I stabbed myself in the back. So I'm gonna go with my fandom over this one rather than my gut, and I'm gonna say Ovi. Ovi gets it done, takes him to the second round.
I went. What do you got for Boston, Carolina?
I'm going Boston. Even though I hate rooting for Boston teams, dude, them Bruins are they're good. They're super good. So I think Boston Bruins take care of the Hurricanes in the first round.
I got the Bruins as well.
Yeah, they're good, man.
Bruins as well.
They're a low as far as 4 seeds go. That's a good 4 seed. That's a very good.
Say for me, not knowing shit about shit, I basically went off history there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like, the Bruins they run a good organization there. They're always, I feel like, in these kind of talks here for the playoffs. Vegas and St. Louis.
So you give me your pick because my bracket's different.
I forgot about that. Once again, I'm gonna rock with Vegas, not because of the number 1, but because of the fact that they just came out of the gate as an organization, and although they didn't, not last year, but the year before they were in the Stanley Cup, I just believe that they can rekindle that magic, get themselves closer.
Okay. So in my bracket right here, I got the Knights against the Coyotes, and the Knights are just too strong. Point blank, period. Enough to say. Golden Knights beat the Coyotes.
What do you got for the next round? I have Colorado, Dallas.
I have Dallas, Vancouver.
Okay.
Vancouver upsets the reigning champs, St. Louis, but I don't think they have enough to get over Dallas. I think Dallas takes it in the second round and advances to the conference finals to take on Las Vegas.
I as well am taking Dallas, mostly because I can only rock with the Avalanche so far, being a Red Wings fan. So,
so who do you have? The Knights and who?
Right now, so I'm gonna end up having the Knights and Dallas Stars.
Oh, and Dallas. That's who I have. Okay,
yeah.
So we have the same conference finals.
And then
Okay, so on the other side, I have the Flyers and the Bruins. I'm going Philly here, man. I think that the Flyers are just strong enough to where they're just going to handle business this year. I distinctly remember as a child watching the Flyers. I'm pretty sure they swept the Red Wings in the Stanley Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So, I've never been the biggest Flyers fan. But at the end of the day, fuck the Bruins. I'm going Flyers over the Bruins to get to the conference finals.
Because I don't know enough, I'm going Islanders.
Well,
I
who's the matchup?
It's Philly and New England Islanders.
Okay.
New England to be New York Islanders. So hello, that tells you how much I know about hockey. But I just can't believe they have hockey in New York. I think at this point, it's the only thing New York has to root for, and I think that they're going to try and make a good push for the city of New York, especially with everything that's going on.
Dude, see, I'll be honest. Out of all of these games, I think that Capitals Islanders series in the first round is going to be the most fun one to watch. Like, I myself may watch that series. Like, I'm going to try and catch at least one of those games. Because I think that'll be one. I got OV. Because out of all these teams in this, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 teams in this playoff, that's like Washington would be the team I would personally be rooting for, just because I'm a huge Ovechkin fan. I'm a big Stamkos fan too, so I think the Lightning would maybe be my number 2. Past that, man, there's really nobody on this roster or in this playoff that like I root for. Because like I'll be honest, man, when it comes to hockey, I'm a pretty big Red Wings guy. So like if it ain't the Red Wings, it's kind of like fuck everyone else. You know what I mean? Like
Certainly.
in most sports, I can find a team to kind of root for. Like even football, like you already know my Dolphin love, but like come playoff time, I could
my
still
timeline hasn't fucking let me forget.
I could still be like, I want to root for this team. In hockey, I always had a really tough time rooting for people, but I've always been an Ovechkin fan since he came in the league. So
that's what's up.
So anyways, my next matchup, I got the Lightning and the Capitals. And you know what? Fuck it. Going Capitals. We're going to ride OV to the promised land. And I got them beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a ballsy move. I think the Lightning have a much better team. But guess what, CB? We're not NHL NHL proficient, as we would like to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride the dark horse here, and I'm gonna root for the Caps trying to get back to the Stanley Cup. Well, technically the conference finals, but you catch my drift.
I have the Lightning against the Bruins, and because I am trying to create a good rivalry, and it only makes sense, I'm going Boston and New York.
That makes sense.
I just not noticed that before I announced it, but honestly, I just once again history. I just think that they're gonna play off that. Now I get it. Tampa Bay's been good for a while, but I just think that Boston has a lot more to play for because of the fact they realize that they're actually a competitive team this year. So. All right, so now quarterfinals, conference finals.
Actually, the playoffs may start tomorrow, man.
Yeah,
they start tomorrow. Yes, we are. Yeah, playoffs start tomorrow. Who do you got in your conference finals?
I have I got Vegas and I got Dallas. And I already made my selection for that, and that was going to be Vegas. Vegas goes
all
back.
The way.
Vegas makes it back into the champion. And I didn't even notice, what are they ranked? They're ranked 3? No, they're ranked 1. I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that shit. I just have them going all the way as far as to the Stanley Cup. What about yourself?
So right now I also have Vegas and Dallas, and I'm gonna go Vegas too, man. I think they're just gonna be too strong at the end of the day. I think that'll be a good matchup. Kind of looking at some of these stat breakdowns, just these quick ones, but I think Vegas makes it back to the Stanley Cup. And then as far as the Flyers and the Capitals, I don't think the Caps got enough to make it. I think Philly advances, and I got 2 1 seeds in the Stanley Cup. I know that's very cliche to just make the best team go all the way, but I'm gonna go with my gut on this one, and I think both those big teams are gonna make it all the way.
Well, I have Vegas, of course, and then I went New York. I don't know why I'm riding fucking New York like that, but it is what it is. That's what I'm rocking with. And I chose New York to win, and I have a total of 6 goals scored.
So now keep in mind that series total. So if they go 7 games, your 6
wait.
goals are through 7 games.
Wait, oh no, really?
Did you submit?
I did.
Fucking loser. So I'm going to go. These teams average about 3 goals a game given up. And they score about 3 goals a game. So I'm going to go with LeBron James 23. Because that's the only player that rocks that number with authority.
So I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna be doing it again, but I'm gonna say 24. I thought it was just for the final fucking game, so.
Fair. All right, I'm gonna say that the Knights sweep the Blackhawks because fuck Chicago. I'm gonna say the Coyotes take care of Colorado in 7. I'm gonna say the Stars handle Calgary in 6. Vancouver takes St. Louis to 7. Philly handles Montreal in 5. Tampa takes Columbus to 6 because I think Columbus will give them a good battle. Washington handles New York in 7, and Boston, they're just going to go ahead and sweep the Hurricanes in 4. Nah, Hurricanes aren't that bad. We're going to go 5. Nah, we're going to go 6. Submit. All right. Your boy's about to win $1 million. I'm glad everybody stayed tuned and listened to our blind
professional hockey fan.
Our blind playoff predictions. A lot of bold decisions, probably a lot of wrong decisions, but that's okay. That's the beauty of it.
What about fantasy basketball? How we end up there? I don't want to.
So the season
ended.
It just ended. Yahoo sent out a notification that was just like, due to the COVID and the restart, the best thing we thought to do was to just end the season where it was. So it just ended. Wherever we were, that's just where we placed.
Oh,
which is kind of
real quick. I'm just curious, where'd I end up?
I don't know, probably last.
I'm
kidding. You actually made like a crazy surge like a couple weeks. So like once I taught you how to play, all of a sudden you decided to get good.
This guy over here.
Let's see here. Tua, Infinity, and Beyond. What a great fantasy name, Clay. Came up with it all himself, too.
Well, let's say one thing, but...
So, the basketball league finished Cold-Blooded was number 1. Piston in My Pants was 2. KZoo Generals was 3. I was 4. You were 5.
Wait, Cold-Blooded wasn't me?
No, you were CB's fine team because you're a piece of shit and didn't rename yourself. The only one who didn't do it. Monstars 6. Hardened in the Paint 7. Taco Bell 8. No, Cold-Blooded was actually my buddy, my old coworker, Kevin Bundy, who drafted for his friend who couldn't be there and ended up drafting his friend a first place team. Piston in My Pants was Andrew Harbin. KZoo Generals. Oh, actually, KZoo Generals might have been the team that he drafted for. Who was Cold-Blooded? That might have been Fierke. That was Dan Fierke. So he finished first.
Well.
By 700 points, which in the basketball league was not much. Yep. So that's how that league ended.
That's what's up.
But all right, we managed the bullshit for an hour and 35 minutes.
Yahoo! Guys, thank you again. And gals. COVID. Super
Rona.
COVID.
Rona. And
All right.
no tornado landed, so it was a good night.
So once again, shout out to Clay. Happy birthday. You're welcome to the world after your 20s. So it's only uphill from here.
I know.
All right.
I just know I have to take painkillers at the turn of every golf round now. That's the age I've gotten to.
First off, it's not they're not called painkillers. It's just shots. So
Vitamins. Sports vitamins.
Some people call them PhDs. Guys, thank you again for joining us for episode number 96.
96 straight weeks, motherfucker.
All right, hey, we thank you. We're out. Peace.